we are just getting into what's shaping up to be a 48-hour stretch with temperatures soaring into the upper 90s and triple digits. Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Excessive heat warnings are in place for what we're calling 2 KGW weather impact alert days, both today and tomorrow. So we have team coverage for you this afternoon. John Adams is covering how Multnomah County is dealing with the forecast. But first, let's check in, with meteorologist Rod Hill. Rod, let's talk about this triple-digit forecast you have in place.
Yeah, both today and tomorrow is what we're talking about. So, 12 o'clock straight up right now. We're getting past what has been the comfortable part of our day. Now it's going to be feeling increasingly hot for folks that are outdoors or on air-conditioned structures. It's hazy, but not terribly so. We are at 85 degrees, which is right where we projected we would be at noon. So here we go with other temperatures. Notice it's actually warmer in Astoria, 86. Salem matches that. It's 82 up in Kelso, and actually it's 80 or better all locations inland here in Oregon and Southwest Washington except for the coast. So hour by hour, the KGW weather impact alert for the hot weather building in the coming hours. 89, right about 90 at the top of the next hour at 1 o'clock, 3 p.m., 96. Here we are at 4, 99, maybe 100. So it could be 100 potentially or just above between 4 and 6 o'clock today, and then 95 at 7 p.m. I mentioned the haze, which so far hasn't been terribly bad. Air quality mainly in the moderate range between Portland and Salem right now. Some unhealthy reports still coming from parts of Central Oregon. More on the KGW weather impact alert and the record 100-degree temperatures we are expecting coming up.
All right, Rod, thank you. Multnomah County officials held a press conference this morning on ways that you can stay safe in this extreme heat.
So we're going to get back to John Adams, who's live for us in downtown Portland. John, what did the county officials have to say during that presser?
Well, Drew and China, they just wanted to reiterate how dangerous this extreme heat can be. 7 people have already died this year in the county from suspected heat-related illnesses. 85 people have died over the last 3 years. First and foremost, officials wanted to remind people to stay hydrated over the next few days and to try to avoid activities in the hottest part of the afternoon. Also be on the lookout for your neighbors, especially those who are elderly and living alone. Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson declared a state of emergency that started at 10 a.m. this morning. 2 cooling centers will be opening their doors in the county, along with extended hours at certain public libraries. The Joint Office of Homeless Services will also be extending street outreach.
Our outreach workers are out in the community right now. They have been out since yesterday morning, providing cooling supplies and water to folks experiencing homelessness. They are also handing out information about the cooling centers and how to access them.
County officials also wanted to ask people to limit driving over the next few days if possible and limit using gas-powered lawn equipment if you can. But again, just to reiterate, a very dangerous couple days ahead for us here in the Portland area, especially for folks that don't have air conditioning. Drew and China, back to you.
All right, thank you, John, reporting live for us there in downtown Portland. Multnomah County, by the way, also opening up 2 cooling centers today and tomorrow. So those are located at Cook Plaza in Gresham and at the Portland Covenant Church on Northeast MLK Jr. Boulevard. Multnomah County Libraries in downtown Portland and Gresham also extending their hours today until 8 o'clock. Clackamas, Washington, and Clark counties have cooling spaces available. And one more thing to keep in mind, TriMet riders who are heading either to or from a cooling center today do not have to pay the TriMet fare. We're also getting an idea of just how hot it's getting this afternoon inside some Portland public school classrooms. So take a look at these photos that educators sent us. One of them told us it was 101 degrees in their classroom by a window. Some of these other photos also show high temperatures in classrooms. Now, we don't know which schools these photos were taken at, but one teacher who wanted to stay anonymous emailed us saying that their high school classroom was already 91 degrees about an hour ago at 11:15. Teachers say the district did take efforts to keep schools cool, but so far they say it's still too hot. Other schools in Estacada and Jervis, for example, are ending the day early.
Well, the Oregon Trail District, that includes schools in Sandy and Boring, canceled classes altogether. Oregon's largest school district, Portland Public, is continuing its normal schedule. PPS says it operated ventilation systems overnight in 66 out of the 81 buildings that don't have AC. They did, however, cancel after-school activities in buildings without AC. In Beaverton, a recent bond measure provided funding to add central cooling in several buildings over the last past few years, but a spokesperson says their main concern now is having a system fail.
We can bring in fans, we can bring in portable units, we can shift kids around in the school, but if it gets too hot, then we would have to consider early dismissal.
Both districts say that they will follow state guidelines for after-school sports, which recommends stopping practice and games when the heat index reaches 105 degrees or higher.
The city of Portland also launched a new tool that shows where available shelter beds are located. So right now, this tool works with 11 shelters in Multnomah County. It's designed to let outreach workers check the database and in real time figure out where beds are available for people whose campsites have been removed.
Right now, because right now you could have somebody move out of a bed and it might take, a little while for that to get to outreach worker. I'm going to have to phone up and sort of talk to somebody at the shelter. We want to cut through that, make it a little bit more efficient, and eventually get to the point where you can see real-time bed use across the whole system.
The tool is in a pilot phase right now that will last through the end of the year. And at that point, Multnomah County will see what needs to be adjusted before any potential expansion. Police say they're searching for a man who exposed himself to a woman who was jogging in southeast Portland. This happened around 10:30 yesterday morning along the Springwater corridor near Johnson Creek Boulevard and Brookside Drive. The jogger told police the man passed her on a bike, jumped into some bushes farther up that trail, and then he exposed himself before trying to grab her. She was able to get away, though, and ran for help. Police are describing the man as white, in his 30s, about 5'8" with a shaved head. They say he was wearing all black and riding a bike with 2 backpacks. Meanwhile, more victims sharing their stories of a shooting spree on I-5 in Washington Monday night. In a 2.5-hour span, 6 vehicles were shot at along the I-5 corridor through King and Pierce County. We know at least 2 people are still in the hospital. Washington State Patrol troopers say one was shot in the torso, another in the neck, but we're learning there were many other close calls as well. Drew Andre from our sister station in Seattle has more.
The bullet holes are the reminder of the fear on I-5 Labor Day night.
I'm grateful that I still have my 2 children healthy, that my wife is not badly injured.
Families fell victim to the seemingly random shootings that injured at least 5 people.
The bullet got my husband and my father-in-law in their legs. I thought, this is it, that they're both going to die.
This woman, who wanted to remain anonymous, says her kids were in the car too when they were targeted in Tacoma.
And all I can think about is how close the bullet was to my kids.
Stop! Get down to your knees!
A man was taken into custody a little more than an hour after the last shooting Monday night. Court documents showed the man told troopers he was afraid for his life and that people were stealing his identity and following him. The documents also say he told troopers he was, quote, shooting to get the people who were following him to back off, and show as recently as the day before he had been at Tacoma General Hospital, quote, for an evaluation.
I hope that whoever listens to this, that they say, hey, enough is enough. We need to start protecting our citizens.
Again, that was Drew Andre reporting for us this afternoon. He didn't name the suspect in that report because the suspect hasn't been formally charged yet. Yesterday, though, a judge said there was probable cause for 5 counts of assault. That man is being held right now on $1 million bail.
Thanks to smoke detectors, an elderly couple escaped from their home this morning after the garage caught on fire. A neighbor down the street shared this video as the fire extended into the home and then the roof caved in. This all happened on Northeast 176th Avenue in Gresham just after 6. A Gresham fire chief on scene said that the couple was transported to the hospital. It didn't spread to other houses in the area, but the street will be closed down through the afternoon. At this point, firefighters aren't sure of the cause, but did say the area smelled like gasoline. Clackamas County is celebrating the grand opening of new affordable housing units. The Oregon City complex is called Las Flores, or the Flowers. It has 171 apartment homes for low-income households, all people who earn less than 30 to 60% of the area median income. A portion is also specifically reserved for farm workers and veterans.
They passed the affordable housing bond, and now we're seeing those dollars go to good work to house people that are vulnerable in our population, to get them the housing they need, to bring the stability they need, and allow them to be part of our community.
90% of the homes are already leased, but 3- and 4-bedroom units are still available.
U.S. Bank is pulling out of the downtown Portland skyscraper that bears its name, saying it will not renew its lease at the U.S. Bancorp Tower. The tower, of course, is more commonly known around here as Big Pink. It currently serves as the regional headquarters for U.S. Bank and is the workplace for hundreds of its employees. The bank's lease is set to expire next year. In a statement, U.S. Bank said some employees will transfer to other downtown locations, but many of them will move to a facility in Gresham. The bank's also saying that it doesn't anticipate any job cuts here and that this move will not impact services at any of its branches. Meanwhile, the company that owns Big Pink, Unico, gave a statement to the Portland Business Journal. It reads in part, quote, "It's a severe blow to the downtown community and the city of Portland to lose such a significant urban-oriented business to its suburban neighbors."